Hi guys, this is the first episode in my Junk Journal with Me series. So I've been wanting to start this series for a while and I'm finally doing it. So this is a series where I show you how I work in my junk journal, which I made myself. I thought that it would be interesting to show you guys sort of how I tackle the pages, because I know that a lot of you kind of feel a little bit lost with how you work with all those pattern pages that are inside a junk journal. So my process is kind of the same each time. I kind of just pick a page that I want to work on. I don't always work chronologically. I kind of just choose a page that's going to work for what I want to document. And then I kind of treat it a little bit like a puzzle, because I pull out all these pieces and I kind of try and assemble them together, and whatever works will go on the page and whatever doesn't work kind of just gets eliminated. So it's kind of like a puzzle in my mind. That's kind of how my process works. It's just fitting things together and seeing what works. So all I've been doing so far is just pulling things out that I think I might want to use. So I've got a pile of stuff that is like my own ephemera. So I've got some sketches, some photos, some other little bits and pieces, and then I'm pulling out some journal cards and ephemera, vintage ephemera, some envelopes, and I've also got a pile of stickers ready to go just so I can start piecing things together. This little bit of paper here is a little drawing. It's like when I'm creating new journals, I like to sketch them out first so that I know what I'm doing when I'm building them. So this is an old one on one side, and on the other side a more recent one, and I wanted to include it in my journal, so I folded it up and I put it into this envelope. And I actually do end up taking it back out because it was really quite bulky. But you'll see that later. I also have these photos of my kids, and a lot of them are really similar, so some of them will be going into my kids' notebooks, so immediately I can eliminate a couple of them, and then I'm just kind of working with the rest and seeing which ones fit. So I have one here of my kids amongst the flowers, which I'm just backing to a little paint chip that I had from a while ago, and I just stapled it up the top. And then I decided that I was going to do a little bit of stamping, because this page is a coloured vellum sheet, so it's a bit transparent, and I just wanted to kind of have a play with what I could do on it, and I just did some stamping with my StazOn ink pad. I didn't get the best impression. I'm not exactly sure why. Could have just been my stamping skills not up to scratch, but I just went over it with a marker, like a pen. So I just went over it with a pen just to kind of enhance those lines a little bit, and I decided to do a green pen so that it would really stand out against the page. And I like how this ends up looking, because you can see it from the other side as well. Not being too particular about the lines, just kind of tracing loosely, not being perfect. And then I'm just pulling other pieces I know that I want to include, and kind of just thinking ahead of where things are going to fit, and sticking that picture onto the vellum sheet. And then this is like a little piece of vintage ephemera I've had for a while, and I decided to use the lines as my journaling place. So I'm just journaling directly onto that, and then that's going to be my journaling for this page, and I'll just fold it up and slip it in behind the photo. So I'm just like fiddling around with how I want it to sit under there. It does end up changing later on, because as I said before, it's kind of like a puzzle and things move around as other things fit and come into play. This envelope I was going to staple directly down, but then I realised I didn't really want to cover up that pretty little dandelion on it, so I ended up just gluing it over the edge of the page, and it just flips out like a little extra page, which is quite cute. And then I'm just going to stick a photo on top from the same day. Added a little bit of washi just to decorate it and reinforce it a little bit, and then I'm working on the page behind that. This is an old vintage little, it's like a postcard, and I was kind of just fiddling around with how I was going to stick it down because I didn't want to cover up too much of it. I knew that I wanted to use it to journal on top of, so I was just kind of brainstorming where it was going to go, and then I ended up pinning my journaling to the page. And this is when I decided to actually take out those sketches because they're just way too bulky in there, so I ended up switching them out and putting this drawing that my son did at school in there instead. So I put some washi on the music paper sheet. I actually did that because it's a vintage music paper sheet and it was really quite fragile at the bottom, so I wanted to reinforce it a little bit and stop it from tearing. And then I ended up sticking that postcard over the page so that it kind of flipped up. And then I'm just playing around with what I'm going to do inside it. At first I was thinking I could put another picture underneath there, but I ended up just doing some journaling on top of it. This is a journal card, which I'm just cutting out really roughly and then just roughing up the edges with my scissors just to stress it a little bit. And then I really like how that frame kind of hangs out underneath that beautiful deer. So I end up sticking that there and that becomes my journaling. And I like that it's a little bit hidden underneath there as well. So glued that down with my glue stick, and I added another little journal card on the opposite page just because I liked the quote, kind of went with the story that I was telling. And then I'm just kind of fiddling around with other pieces that I liked, but they don't end up making it because they don't really fit with what I've done so far. I've got one more sweet little photo of my kids laughing and holding hands, and I really wanted to include this one. So I wanted to back it with something first just so that it would stand out a little bit better. So I took some scrap paper out of my scrap drawer and just cut around it to frame it a little bit. And then that's just going to go beneath my journaling, and I think it looks quite sweet. So I usually use double-sided tape or a glue stick, but it depends what I'm sticking down. Like I use the double-sided tape for my photos because they're a little bit heavier, but a glue stick's good for like bigger pieces that I need to stick down. So this folder holds all of my stickers that I like to use in my journal, and I'm just kind of going through them all because there's a lot there and I'm just trying to narrow down what I'm going to use. A lot of these stickers fit with what I wanted to tell or the story that I wanted to tell in my journal, so kind of about being outside in nature and about family. So a lot of these stickers worked really well with this page, with these 3 pages, and so I was just kind of going a bit sticker crazy. These stickers are from different paper packs that I bought, and I've just cut them down so that I can fit them in this folder so that I can use them in my journals really easily. Sometimes I find that if they're on a 12 by 12 sheet I forget that I have them, and so I don't use them. Got some tiny word stickers here. I spent quite a while trying to choose which words to put, but I did edit it out for you guys, and I ended up putting 3. I think I put family, love and explore on that photo just randomly. Just having a look around if any other stickers fit on the page, which I decided that that was enough of those ones. And then these other sticker sheets that I have, which have the cutest images on them, but they're not that sticky, so I usually glue them down, but I ended up choosing just one of these stickers to add to the page. So quite a bit of stickers on this layout. I just really felt like those stickers worked with my journaling and my photos that I had, so yeah, a lot of them fit, and so that's why I used so many of them. And just doing a quick tidy up of my desk, and going to go ahead and add some journaling. So I'm just leaning on my little box so that I could write on that flappy bit, that little fold out up the top, and yeah, just doing a little bit of journaling. Then I have this beautiful fabric scrap I wanted to include, and I was just kind of trying to find somewhere I could stick it down, and I ended up sticking it down on the back of that envelope. So I just used some PVA glue and my finger to spread it, and just stuck it down. This little pouch has like children's book illustrations, but I looked through it and none of them really fit with the page, so I didn't use any of them. But I kind of wanted just to show you guys that I do, like in my process, I do pull things out and things don't always just work. Like it's kind of just a bit of a puzzle, as I said, which I keep saying, but it really is, because in a junk journal you're kind of just piecing things together until you get a page that looks finished. I kind of just like to make it look appealing to me personally, or I use things that are relative to the story or relative to how I'm feeling. So yeah, so I coloured in those leaves with a pencil, and then I just pulled out my stencil and I'm just writing my two, because my two boys, and yeah, I don't think I do that much more after that. After I stop filming, I do end up adding maybe one or two things which aren't included in the process, but you will see them at the end when I show you the finished page. And here is the finished page. So as you can see, I'm not all crazy about filling in every single space. I'm happy with blank spaces, that's fine. As long as I get the moments down and get what I want down, and I feel happy with how it looks, and I feel happy with the process, and got everything out that I wanted to get out, then I'm happy. So that is my first junk journal episode to share with you guys, and I hope to have a lot more up for you guys as soon as possible. Hope you're all doing really, really well, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!